Hello, this is Joko. I'm an English teacher and IELTS tutor, instructor out of Mandalay, Myanmar. And I'm doing a report today for someone who has contributed a Task 1 map that I've never seen before. That's kind of cool to get one I've never seen before. And here it is. It's not an unusual format. Here it is what it looks like now. And here it is in the future. So let's look at the instructions and maps below. Show an industrial area in the town of Norbiton. Plan about summarize information by selecting and reporting the main features. That's what we're looking for. The main features. Not just any features, but the main ones. And make comparisons where relevant. All four of those verbs, okay, summarize, report, select, and make comparisons are important. If you do those four things, you'll achieve high in task achievement. So here it is now. We got 8 factories surrounding a roundabout and an east-west road, sandwiched between an east-west road and a northeast-west river. Farmland over on the other side. And see, this is kind of key here, where it says town and there's a dotted line. What do you suppose that represents? Well, like most cities, we can assume that they want to keep their factories outside of town. So to the left of this line, that's where the town is. This is not town over here on the right. Okay? This is an urban area to the left, not industrial. And what has happened? Okay, well, here we now have all of the factories, okay, have been replaced by residential housing areas. 7 of them. It's not that important that you get the number down, but a relatively equal number, but they have been moved, been redistributed to the north and to the west of the existing area. And, of course, things like a playground, medical center, and shops, commercial areas at a school would not be there if it were not for the residential areas. So, to service these residential places, these homes, these additional facilities will be built. This is how I would summarize the changes that I see here. Other important features, okay? The main features, I'd have to say, would be the bridge over the river. Bridges are important. Okay. And the fact that it's completely transformed from industrial to residential with supporting commercial areas. Do we see that in our writing today? Okay. Now, so orange is task response. Okay. Now, if you look in the band descriptors, in multiple places you find where it says it talks about the overview. Is there an overview which summarizes the main features? There's no overview. You might say this little thing at the bottom, to sum up, is an overview, but it doesn't really stack up. You should put the overview at the beginning. There are some differences before and after the modernization planning. It tells us nothing. It just tells us there's some differences. Well, of course there are. Summarize what they are. Illustrate an industrial zone at present and its future development. Okay, here we have a prepositional phrase. An industrial zone at present and its future development. Plan, not the development, the plan. And when you have on both sides of an and like this, you should use the same type of words. So, the zone at present and in the future. Norbiton's town. Why is this possessive now? In the instructions, it doesn't say Norbiton's. That's not. It's a good attempt at paraphrasing, but not accurate. You can mention that. Right. Now, yellow is word choice. Layout. Third word. Layout. Third word. Layout. Third word. You use the same word 3 times in the first sentence of each paragraph. It stands out. You need to make a stab at using a variety of different lexical items, vocabulary. Okay, per the industrial layout in the industrial zone at present. See, it's not summarizing, because you're using words that are being repetitive and taken right from the instruction. Oh, no, because you said it here. Industrial zone at present, up top. Industrial zone at present, here. There are only, that's a judgmental, oops, sorry. There we are, repetition. Don't use only. It's an opinion. Okay, now here's, grammar-wise, you do pretty well throughout, but one easily fixable grammar error I see here in several places is the use of articles. A, an, and the. Okay. Near the roundabout. Have we mentioned the roundabout before? No. South of the river. What river? We haven't mentioned it before. When you're talking about a countable noun and you're mentioning it for the first time, you need to use a or an. Okay? Near a roundabout. To the south of a river, not the. I'm not a big fan of using also to start a sentence. There is a big farmland. See, here you got the right idea, except that farmland is an uncountable noun. Okay, it's talking about a category of land, farmland. So you can't have a farmland. It's not countable. To the north of the river in the town. Well, it's not in the town. It's outside of the town. What towns have farms in them? We showed you on the map before. About is not the correct connector to use here, and once again, you're using layout for the third time. More housing. More implies that there exists some now, and there is no housing initially, so more is not an accurate word here. And I mentioned grammar. You need to look at the question and think about how can the way it's set up give me an opportunity to show I have control over a variety of tenses and sentence structures. You do okay with sentence structures, but tenses, it is all present tense throughout. Okay, more housing with the playground are built. Passive voice. But you have an opportunity. Will be built. It's going to be built. To replace those factories that are located in the town. Once we're using in the town too much, and they're not in the town. In addition, more roads are constructed. Passive voice again. In which the road? In which one road is connected to another housing area on the north. In the north. To the north of the river. And there's a bridge. That's not a sufficient summary of one of the most important features. Because of this, the size of the farmland becomes smaller. Once again, present tense throughout. And is that a significant feature? Does the farmland really, how do we know how big the farmland is? It seems like that's a detail that is not important enough to be included. One more round, next to, that does not tell us where it is. It's on the main road. That's the key thing about that roundabout. To sum up, this is not an adequate summary of the important changes seen in these two maps. Okay? Look at it in the big sense. Okay, let's go back to the map real quick. If we look at this, how can we describe this using carrier nouns, using words that talk about everything? I mentioned them before. Residential. The industrial area will become a residential one. That covers everything, because with residential, you also need commercial and education properties. There's a school, a playground, recreational. What about the direction of the development? Okay. This development will take place to the north, and to a lesser extent to the east of the existing facilities. That's the important stuff. The total transformation of what the basic zoning is and the direction of the development is what you want to describe to adequately summarize the information with the main features. You need to also vary your tenses, pay attention to your articles, and look at the big picture.